Want to watch this episode? Check it out on my YouTube channel by going to youtube.com/@lanternslive. Welcome to Lanterns Live, the only live stream YouTube channel dedicated solely to the Green Lantern universe. I'm Ralph, and today we're talking about Laura Linney. We all saw that trailer recently. I really didn't have a book to talk about this week, and next week's going to be super busy. So I decided this might be a fun show. It might be a little bit of a quicker show as well, because, again, I have been busy. As of Saturday, I have now enrolled in college for a photography course, and things started Monday. So for those of you expecting the member stream on Monday, I apologize. I will get to that possibly tomorrow, maybe Friday, maybe next week sometime. But yeah, it will happen. It's just like my schedule's in crazy flux. Next week on Monday, before my class, I'll be covering Green Lantern Flash Brave and the Bold #2 for GL June. And then on Tuesday, I will be covering this book that Tim Sheridan sent me, which is DC Pride. When he was on my show, I told him I would read this, and that I would do it during Pride Month, which it is now. And what's fun is, and I'm announcing this right now, when I cover this book on Tuesday, I will be joined by Tim Sheridan. So look forward to that on Tuesday. I know that it says that this show's coming up on Tuesday. It doesn't mention Tim Sheridan at all. I guarantee you he will be there, pending some sort of crazy thing. I'll change the artwork tomorrow so it reflects that he will be appearing on that episode. Next Wednesday, again, I'll have class, so I won't be able to cover Green Lantern Corps 17 because of my schedule and because of Vector's schedule. So we'll be talking about that the following Tuesday. Lots of stuff going on. It's all very excited. And yeah, I was kind of stoked about all of this stuff coming up that I decided to start the stream maybe 5 minutes early. So hopefully folks will hit that bell icon to be notified when I actually go live. Hunter Iggy is in the chat. Lanterns Live, what's your thoughts on the set leaks from James Gunn, Man of Tomorrow? I mean, dude, like, Superman looks great. It looks like they gave him, like, abs. The suit has abs now, but it kind of looks like a ice cube tray, like he's stuffing an ice cube tray. I'm sure it'll look better in the film and stuff, but set photos are really funny. I guess the big thing that we would talk about is the Lex Luthor suit. Looks amazing, looks cool. A lot of people are like, I can't believe it's practical. I've seen stuff like this at cons, at conventions, where people wear big mech suits and stuff that are practical, like Gears of War type of suits. Looks great. It's purple and green. Like James Gunn is like out there like nailing it with these comic accurate costumes. I'm waiting on that set leak for Jon Stewart. Because I don't like the suit in Lanterns, and I'm hoping that uniform doesn't go over to Jon Stewart. I'd love a really, really nice comic accurate Jon Stewart. So when those set leaks hit, when we get our first glimpse of Jon Stewart in a costume, I'll be doing a show. As soon as that drops, you're going to want to hit that bell icon to get my thoughts on that, because Lex looks comic accurate, Superman looks comic accurate, and I'm ready. Johnny's in the chat. Johnny, I missed out on that pre-sale, for the Hal Jordan with white temples superpowers figures. Yeah, the new Jimmy Olsen, man. I wish I was new anything. I wish I knew anything. But yeah, I'm just taking photography classes because I met someone on Saturday. She was teaching photography classes that happened to be like right nearby me, and it was free. It's at a college. I'll get college credit, I guess, but mostly I'm excited to sort of like take what I've self-taught myself and like add like sort of a discipline to it, so that I'll be, you know, if I you know, I could feel like I look less like an idiot. Yeah, you know, if someone, I don't know. I really don't care what people think of my photography. I like it, and I like when other people like it. No one's ever said anything disparaging to me about my photography. Some people have given critiques that were not asked for, questioning a composition or two, and it's like, I kind of take pride in my compositions. I think I'm pretty good. You wrote a screenplay, though. Good work, dude. That's not hard. That's not easy. I've written a couple. Should probably do something with those, huh? Yeah. So let's start flooding the chat with speculation on Laura Linney from Lanterns. I'm going to pop up the trailer real quick because I just watched it before going live. And there was something funny I noticed. Not that funny. Kind of funny. Let's go to... Let's go to different layout. What do we like? I like this one. This is the layout I like. I've been using that I really enjoy. Funny thing is, I noticed when I watched this trailer just now that Hal is holding the ring. Hal is holding the ring in his right hand, if you see where his thumb is. And the insert shot, someone is putting it down with their left hand. Look where the position of the thumb is. So these are two completely different scenes. And I don't know, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. Who cares? They just probably didn't get a close-up of this bar scene here because it wasn't necessary, maybe. I don't know. But that is definitely a different thumb and hand. So anyway, whatever. I was going through this. Again, I still think this might be Manhunters. I'm hoping it's Manhunters. Let's just say that. I was rereading some of Jeff Johns' early Green Lantern run, and he starts off using Manhunters. It's really cool. What we're talking about today, though, is Laura Linney, and I'm gonna go over. Yeah, I don't really care for this suit, guys. It's not my jam. Look how straight this arm is, and weirdly like stretchy clothes underneath the armor. I don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me. What I wanted to talk about was Laura Linney, who up until recently was not confirmed. She was not confirmed until this trailer. There was a rumor. There was some articles saying that she joined the cast. They didn't say as who. Speculation was, since she's roughly around Kyle Chandler's age, that she could possibly be Carol Ferris. And then so we weren't really told that she had actually signed on to the show, and that until the trailer. We saw her in the trailer. Let's listen to what she has to say.
And I'll do this better than he's ever done it before.
Then go and get it, Jon Stewart.
Okay. So go and get it, Jon Stewart. It sounds awkward. It sounds like a couple different pieces of dialogue strung together. Let's look at Laura Linney. All right. What do you guys think? Carol Ferris? Would Laura Linney come on as Carol Ferris and have a conversation with Jon Stewart and not Hal Jordan? The fact that they never really announced that she was officially on the show leads me to believe that she's not a major part of the show, that she's probably just in like one scene. But I don't know. If that's the case, and she's only in one scene, I could see why she wouldn't want to dye her hair brunette. So I don't know if she's Carol or not. I mean, there's definitely stuff in the show that deviates from the comics a little bit. But her hair, is that like a big deal? Okay, you bring up a good point. This is one of the things I wanted to talk about. Hard to tell, but that jacket looks olive green. Military vibes. Is John still a military guy in this? Maybe she's an old commanding officer of his or something. That's what I'm thinking. We're always talking about how, so-and-so, as soon as you see so-and-so, like it's been going on with Sadie Sink for a while, like as soon as you see somebody like pop up as a cast, every theory gets out there, and a lot of times they're just like whatever. Jenna Malone got cut from Batman v Superman, and people had all sorts of theories who Jenna Malone was playing in it, and what she ended up being was just a random person at the Daily Planet. Maybe she had a name that tied to the DC Comics, but she really wasn't as important. Like people were like, it's Batgirl, it's Cat Grant. I don't know. People had all kinds of theories. She ended up being nothing. Since Laura Linney was not announced, I'm assuming, yeah, she could be a commanding officer, because we do know that in this show, as Johnny asked, is John still a military guy in this? And in this flashback, we see him as a Marine sniper, and we also see him a different officer. Where did that guy go? A guy definitely in military fatigues. Here we have John doing a parachute jump, and then this guy in military fatigues. So would this be his CO? I'm not familiar with the Marines, but I'm not sure what this emblem means. I'm not really sure. So if anybody could tell me in the comments, let me know. But yeah, it looks like he's definitely got some military stuff going on. Here he is in the jail cell, and guy shows up. So is this all military stuff? I don't know. But we're talking about who, and then what's this? Like, look at this car explosion. This is the one thing that I really haven't gone over a lot. Is this car explosion? There's a woman in the foreground with dark hair. Is that Carol Ferris? Is it Zoe? Born Nagajathon's character in the show. Yeah, whose car is that? It just looks like a regular old car. Like she was waiting for that to explode. So yeah. Yeah, it's just a rank insignia, but what rank? I'm really curious to know what rank it is. So I don't know what you guys think. Dave says DCU Wonder Woman. Kirk over on my Discord. If you guys follow my Discord, go for it. It's at Lanterns Live. Link is in the description. My friend Kirk said that it's Ellen Scott, the first Green Lantern of Earth, which I thought was fun. You know, it's a joke. Maybe she's with Argus. See, that would be good too. I really have this feeling that she's not anything. Someone in my chat a couple weeks ago when we were talking about Lanterns brought her up and thought she was a Guardian. which is kind of nuts. And I immediately thought of, like, Ganthet. So in Heart Traveling Heroes, Ollie and Hal go on a road trip, and at some point Ganthet decides to join them, and Ganthet was able to sort of change the color of his skin and sort of morph into like a little tiny old guy, so that he wouldn't be recognized as a guardian or anything weird. It was just these two, middle-aged men driving around the country with a little tiny old man. So, if that's the case, what do you guys think? Could she be a guardian? I know she talks a little weird. She said, "Then go get it, Jon Stewart." I think it's just an edit. An edit point. She took the Jon Stewart from somebody else. And then are we sure this is Jon Stewart in the foreground? I think it is. Because that looks like her hair from the back, right? I thought about that too. I thought about it being his mom as well, but I think the mother was cast. And I don't remember who it was, but it definitely wasn't Laura Linney. So maybe I can check IMDb for that. Let's see here. I'm going to go to IMDb. I'm going to go to Lanterns. Maybe we can find out some fun stuff. Let us see. It might even say, it just says Laura Linney 8 episodes. And it looks like... Huh. Aaron Stewart. There's a lot of Stewarts. I remember there's a John Sr., which means Aaron Pierre's playing John Jr. That's probably why Hal's calling him Jr. Romeo Brown's playing Aaron Stewart. There's an adolescent Marcus Stewart. There's a young Bernadette. There's a Bernadette. I don't know if they're Stewarts. There's a young Hal Jordan. Jessica Jordan, who I believe is Hal's mom. I remember someone being cast as Jon Stewart's mom. I'm going to look up Nicole Alley Parker for you guys. Lanterns. Okay, so Nicole Alley Parker was cast as Jon Stewart's mother. So I don't think that she's playing. You don't think they mix and match the scenes there? I think you're right. This looks like a similar room. So she's definitely talking to Jon Stewart. It looks like they're just in like a regular room, right? It's kind of hard. It's not the highest quality video. But it just looks like a regular room. I don't know if that's a military barracks. Those look like curtains back there. So I don't know if this is in Rushville, if this is well, I don't think it would be a flashback. It's so hard because they keep saying that there's two timelines, 2016 and 2026. But clearly, like, there's a different timeline where John is a little kid. Right? So for her to tell him to go get the ring, I'm assuming this is 2016. Is he still in the military? Because it looks like the 2016 stuff is when Hal is training John. And we know there's only one ring but for them to use. So Yeah, I don't know. If she's a guardian, that means she's the one that picked John, right? Because the guardians picked John. In similar to the way John's origin story in the comics, John got chosen by the guardians to be Hal's backup, except they gave him a ring in that one. So why wouldn't they give him a ring in this one? And why is John saying that he wants Hal's ring? See, I don't know if she's a guardian, because otherwise she would know that he doesn't have a ring. Let's listen. I want to listen to the dialogue.
I was raised fearless, and I'll do this better than he's ever done it before.
Then go and get it, John Stewart.
They're talking about the ring, right? Go and get it. So are the guardians sending John to go take the ring from Hal? I don't know why they didn't just give him a ring. That's the one thing I don't know. If she's a guardian. Yeah, I don't know. Is there, could anybody in the chat or maybe comment later on why you think, what would make her a guardian? Through lists of supporting GL characters, she could be Jillian Perlman. I don't even know who Jillian Perlman is. Is that Cowgirl? Could she be Cowgirl? Hal's sort of love interest for a little while during the Jeff Johns run. She was also a pilot along with Hal. Blonde. I think Cowgirl shows up in Grant Morrison's run in one of the first issues. I don't know. It would make things a lot easier, that's for sure. I really want to see the story. I want to see why they decided to do just one ring. Also, here's the thing. Like, there's only one ring, okay? Let's say there's only one ring per sector. And let's say, so that makes there's 3,600 sectors at this point. You don't have sector partners. And if she is a guardian and she picked John and he doesn't have his own ring, let's say this is 2016. If he ends up with the ring, then why does Guy just get a ring? Now we're going to have to see how Guy got his ring. And I've been so excited since Superman came out that we didn't get origins for like the Justice Gang. They were just kind of thrown in, and based on their actions and dialogue, you kind of get their characters. But now we're going to have to know how come. I'm assuming Hal got his ring from Abin Sur. I don't think they changed that. But if they're not giving John a ring, then how did Guy get his own ring? Okay, Jillian is Cowgirl. Somewhere deep in this brain, I have Green Lantern lore that I didn't even know. It is in the backpack. What's in the back? Is it his ring? A second ring? I need to see these two fight side by side. I can't have them like somehow trying to fit both of their fingers into one ring to use it and fight Manhunters or whoever with one ring. Yeah, I talked about that earlier. It was Ganthet that shapeshifts into a human. Maybe she does the same here. That's the only thing I could think of if she's a guardian. But if this show, because we've been speculating for a while now that Paul Van Victor is playing Atrocitus, but then the teaser came out and he's just a guy, and Atrocitus has never been known to shapeshift. So it's like, well, there goes that. Unless they decide to just make Atrocitus human looking, which is a total like cop out. Like, let's make Atrocitus how he is in the comics. If they make Laura Linney just like a Guardian, but without any of the blue makeup or anything, like without the red robes and stuff, then it's like, what's even happening? Why even do this? I really want this show to be like comic accurate. We've been waiting since 2011 to see listen, I'm going to say it. 2011 was fairly comic accurate. The designs were unique. I still like the movie Power Battery more than I like the show's Power Battery. I like the show's Power Battery more when I thought it was Alan Scott's, but I don't think it is, because I thought the suit was Alan Scott's, but now Hal's wearing it. So I don't know. But yeah, if she's a Guardian, it better be like shape-shifting, because I want to see a blue Guardian. I want to see full-on the Guardians. I know I think it was Purna Jagannathan who mentioned Guardians in an interview. So I'm assuming Guardians are in the show, or she just like did a bunch of research on Green Lantern lore and just mentioned the Guardians. But I'm pretty sure Guardians are in the show. I haven't heard any speculation on Guardians in Disguise. Someone popped in my chat during a live stream. I think it was whenever I did like it might have been covering that teaser trailer. Someone in my thing mentioned that they had a theory that she was a Guardian, and heard people online saying that she was a Guardian. I don't know. I think you're right, Johnny. I think she's just a random like military person, maybe an old mentor that came back. Well, I put Laura Linney Guardian Lanterns, and the first thing that came up was this stream. Yahoo, Reddit has some stuff talking about the same thing. Carol Ferris, Guardians in Disguise. It's kind of out there, both out there in the public, or just out there as a wild theory. It makes the whole Green Lantern Corps mythology really weird. I mean, it's already weird if you can just inherit the ring by taking it from an active lantern. I mean, is she saying to like go kill Hal Jordan? She can't be saying that, right? I don't know. I don't know how this works. You can't. Basically, the lore is, since Showcase 22, the first appearance of Hal Jordan was, Abin Sur was dying, and the ring picked Hal. That's kind of how it's been forever. So are they saying that Hal has to die in order for John to inherit the ring? Is that what they're saying? A lot of people keep speculating that they're going to do Hal dirty and he's going to get killed or turn into Parallax. Which I'd kind of be okay with Parallax, right off the bat. But, 2011 Green Lantern movie gets a lot of undeserved hate. I agree. I think everything in the Green Lantern movie is okay. And feels like Green Lantern. I think Ryan Reynolds plays a pretty cocky Hal, and I think it's a fine performance. I like Blake Lively as Carol. I think everything is fine. The problem is Warner Brothers, who admitted to sort of messing up that... I'm going to go back to this. Warner Brothers, who admitted to the sort of downfall of the Green Lantern movie, took out a huge chunk. So from what I'm to understand is during the whole movie, the Guardians don't listen to the Lanterns or Sinestro or Hal or anybody about Parallax, and they sort of just shrug it off. From what I'm to understand, I'd love to have like Mark Guggenheim on, or any of the other people that like worked on the movie, to talk about how when Hal is fighting Parallax in Coast City, Kilowog, Tomar-Re, and Sinestro are there in the fight with them. And if you look at this book, Constructing Green Lantern from Page to Screen, there are pages where Kilowog and I think Sinestro and Tomar-Re are fighting in Coast City alongside Hal. And Hal, when he does the oath and he flies through Parallax and takes him to the sun, there's a huge chunk of time in there that got omitted from the cut. Now, what sounds like it was supposed to happen was, since the Guardians were sort of shrugging their shoulders and not giving a crap about Parallax, Hal leads Parallax directly to Oa and basically drops Parallax right in the Guardians' laps. And there's a big sort of Death Star style fight between Parallax and the entire Green Lantern Corps. And as they're fighting on Oa, that's when Hal remembers his training and flies Parallax to Oa's sun. Because if you notice, there's no real asteroid belts between Earth and our sun. Yet Hal flies through an asteroid belt because there would be, I guess, an asteroid belt between Oa and the Owen sun. So basically, like a huge, like the whole like third act got just taken clean out of the movie. So while, like, say what you will about Green Lantern the movie, I think what's in there is fine. It's just not. They didn't have the guts to like really go for it, and they sort of petered out on the Green Lantern movie. They really didn't show any confidence in that final scene, and it just never happened. So for me, like, yeah, it gets undeserved hate. I'd love to see some sort of finished version where we do see the battle with the Green Lantern Corps on Oa versus Parallax before Hal does take him to the sun on Oa. It also explains why Tomar-Re, Sinestro, and Kilowog show up to save Hal from the sun instead of helping him out whatsoever. So that's on WB. With this show, I feel like they're trying to cut corners. Again, Mark Guggenheim and Greg Berlanti, who worked on the movie, were set to do a DC show or a Lantern show for HBO, which had 3 different stories. It was kind of an anthology with Alan Scott, who was cast, Guy Gardner, who was cast, and Jessica Cruz. They were saving John and Hal for a movie that Jeff Johns was writing. So HBO was like, this is going to cost too much. Can't we just do like a True Detective type of show with Green Lanterns? And so they stepped in again, and they're like meddling with Green Lantern, and they're stripping it down to nothing. The difference is this time around, you have like Damon Lindelof, Tom King, and Chris Mundy who can run a show like this and basically do a low budget version of Green Lantern, which Green Lantern fans are not cool with. I'm kind of not cool with it because I want to see the cosmic adventures that we were promised in 2017 when they originally pitched this idea. But I'm hoping that HBO is just playing it safe and that Lindelof, Mundy, and King put together a really good Green Lantern story that takes place on Earth. We've seen it done with Hard Traveling Heroes. We've seen it with Jeff Johns' run. Grant Morrison did a run where Hal was on Earth. It could be done well. And I'm hoping with these 3 people working on the show that it's going to be done well. What I don't want is for them to like be like, oh, Laura Linney is a Guardian, but we don't want to put it in the budget to make her blue with white hair with red robes or to CGI her. So we'll just make her a person. I don't want to spend money on a giant atrocitus CG model, so we'll just make it a guy. Like, that's the stuff I don't want. So maybe she is Carol. But why would she be talking to John? Yeah, the scene is out of context. There's so much LARPing. That's the thing. Who's the villain of this show? Like, we catch a glimpse of Sinestro. I don't know what his face looks like, but we think he has pink skin. And we know that, I was going to call him Lars Ulrich. Lars Ulrich. Ulrich Thompson has a mustache. He posted his mustache, brought up Sinestro, so I'm assuming Sinestro's fine. Agreed. Sometimes restrictions breed creativity. So for me, if this is a really, really stripped down version of Green Lantern, I'm glad these guys are here to sort of guide it in the best possible direction for a stripped down version of Green Lantern. Damon Lindelof's work on Watchmen was amazing, and we didn't get like a ton of like Dr. Manhattan or superhero stuff, so it might be okay. I'm not sure how that's LARPing. I assumed LARPing was like sort of the clunky costume that Hal had that doesn't quite look like how it should. Parallax Hal has to be done. I'd love it. Listen, I know there's a lot of Hal fans out there. I'm a Hal fan. But people are going to be mad if they jump straight into Hal as Parallax without seeing him in his prime. I mean, even the video footage of the de-aged Kyle Chandler, he still looks a little past his prime. So I don't think we're getting Hal in his prime. I think James Gunn wants to have basically Justice League Unlimited in Man of Tomorrow and wanted to get to John as quick as he could, which is fine. Again, I've said if Hal turns into Parallax or Hal dies, listen, that all happened back in the 90s, and they're still writing Hal in his prime stories because it's somewhere in the middle. Jeff Johns did Rebirth, so possibly if Kyle Chandler goes full Parallax, if Hal Jordan dies, we can definitely get a Rebirth and a recast as younger Hal. But, I mean, are we already going to have like 3 Lanterns already in Man of Tomorrow? This I agree with 100%. If Superman got his red trunk, surely Hal could get his mask and white gloves. 100%. I'm hoping that this thing that we see him in, where he's on television and he's got sort of the brownish, weird copper suit that we've seen it on television, and we see it when he's visiting his old mentor, Sinestro, that maybe it's a formal outfit. It's used for sort of like in the armed services when they have like a formal outfit that's like a suit instead of like fatigues. Like, I'm hoping it's something like that. I'm hoping the other two suits in that closet are like classic Hal suits, and just that old one that's all like brown and sort of decrepit is in the back because it's been sitting there for a long time. Without Hal, there's no Kyle and other Lanterns that follow. I don't know about that. James Gunn is kind of moving stuff around. Guy was around before John, so in this one it sounds like John's going to be around before Guy, because in the trailer when they're talking about like 2016, I don't think Guy is a Lantern yet, because Hal says he's the only one. So I think that Hal's the first, John's the second, then in 2026, Guy will be one as well and show up in Lanterns in his Justice King outfit. So they're doing those out of order. So We'll see if there's room for Kyle, because like when Kyle became a Green Lantern, Hal was dead or he was the Spectre. Guy was a warrior and John was in a wheelchair. So if we get to Kyle, a lot of stuff has to happen. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Hold on, I'm catching up. If they kill Retire Hal and keep hinting at it. But if they do, you can't do Blackest Night, Sinestro Corps War, and so many others. Rebirth would come before Sinestro Corps and Blackest Night. Hal died and had his rebirth before those two events, Sinestro Corps and Blackest Night. So we could still be good on that front. It might just be speeding stuff along towards Sinestro Corps and Blackest Night. If they do Hal Parallax, Hal dead, season 2 could be Rebirth. Maybe. Unless you give all of Hal's stuff and stories to John, that would not work. No, it would not. If anybody's seen the animated movie Beware My Power, it's awful. They try to do stuff with John that like belonged to Hal and Kyle, and it just did not work. Let's see here. Sinestro does not give a hoot about the backwater planet Earth without Hal. Agreed. I think in the comics, especially with like Secret Origins, which I highly recommend, Sinestro doesn't care about Hal. The only thing Sinestro cares about is the fact that Hal is Abin Sur's replacement, and Sinestro was like friends with Abin Sur. And so basically he was like, I don't like this dude, but he's wearing my dead friend's ring. So I need to find out what happened to my dead friend, which means I need to follow this guy with his ring. So really Sinestro and Hal's relationship started on just basically Sinestro mad at Hal for having his best friend's ring. Yeah, it sounds like Pat says, as much as I would love GL Rebirth to get Hal back in his prime, I don't think James Gunn would do that just to keep as John. He wants to keep John as the main Lantern on Man of Tomorrow and the movies. I agree. But if a Lantern season 2, if Aaron Pierre's going to be over in the movies, because he's a movie star, if he's over there and Hal does a Rebirth, great. Over on the show, that's fine with me. I just want more Hal. So if he does get killed off, Rebirth would be the best way to get him back. Trying to get through these. The chat gets real glitchy. They keep saying fearless. There's a difference between overcoming fear and fearlessness. Gio's overcome fear, correct. If you make John the main Lantern of a Justice League, it's fine, but still stupid because Hal's a founding member. Sorry to burst your bubble, but right now, Guy's in there. Guy's already in the Justice Gang, which is the Hall of Justice, which I'm assuming by Man of Tomorrow will be the Justice League. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. Hal's been around at least for a while. Because if this story takes place in 2016 and we see Hal like way younger, maybe like 10 years younger, that means he's been doing it for a while. So what's Hal been up to then? He's not on the mural in the Hall of Justice. So I don't know. I'm interested to see the timeline of like Justice Gang into Justice League. We'll see. I need to see like what's going on in this show and what's going on in Man of Tomorrow, because that stuff is a little like squirrely. Hal defines Green Lantern for me because of Super Friends being there when I was introduced to the character, so I'm most interested in him but I'm fine with other lanterns getting the spotlight too. I agree. Listen, we're getting 3 Earth Lanterns. We're getting Sinestro. So right now, the DCU is already doing way better than the DCEU, which got us a deleted photo of Jon Stewart and a dead Kilowog and Yalin Gur. Like, the fact that we have Hal, John, and Guy, I'm fine. I'm fine with where we are now, because for the last 11 years, Green Lantern has sort of been in exile, and it's good to see that even if this stuff is a little out of order and not like the comics, it's good to see that we're getting these characters. Fans of Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, they fiddled with stuff. Green Lantern, the animated series, which is near perfect show, fiddled with stuff. So I would say, let's see what's going on with Lanterns, but I'm really interested to see where Hal fits into all of this. Yeah, I'd like to see Jessica and Kyle get some focus too. Obviously, the more Lanterns, the better. It is not a choice. Hal defines GL. The whole thing is deeply intertwined with him. Yeah. But for a whole generation who grew up with Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, theirs is John. As much as I love Hal, and as much as I grew up with Hal, when the Green Lantern movie came out, no one was saying Alan Scott's the first Green Lantern and he's the one that defined what a Green Lantern is. Time moves on. Characters sort of get pushed to the side. The fact that we're getting Hal, we're very lucky. We had a chance with the movie. The movie didn't explode like everybody wanted to, but the thing is, there's a whole generation that loves John. I'm okay with John, and as much as I would love to see more Hal, I'm assuming he's in the show. It makes it through the show. I don't know, but we are getting Hal. They didn't have to give us Hal. They could have just not used Hal at all, the way that they didn't use Alan Scott in 2011. Yeah, you gotta. I mean, the Sam Humphries run of Green Lanterns with Jessica and Simon was some of my favorite stuff at that time during DC Rebirth. I'd love to see Simon, but I mean, one thing at a time. Let's make sure we get Kyle in there. I definitely want Kyle in there. Can't do Kyle without changing. Hey, listen, they're changing stuff already. Again, yeah, I don't know. Maybe, and again, we don't know if they are doing Parallax or not. So you do Parallax in season 1, season 2, you can bring on Kyle. Yeah, I wouldn't mind Prime Hal. Mm-mm. They're misinterpreting and miscontextualizing a lot of stuff. There has been, and Will over at the Green Lanterns podcast have mentioned that there have been times where the ring has to get passed from 2 different lanterns. We have seen the shot or the panel that shows Hal Jordan with his uniform in a closet. So it's not necessarily that they're misinterpreting or miscontextualizing a lot of stuff. I think that they're just being able to pull stuff from different stories in order to sort of fit the budget. I think for the last 15 years, Warner Brothers has been really shy about giving us Green Lantern stuff. We had Jaden Stargirl, which was fine. We had that weird Diggle tease at the end of Arrow. But I think WB's really gun shy about Lanterns. And so if they just kind of play it a little safe, don't go crazy with the budget, if they can deliver a good story and it does as well as HBO's projecting, then great. James Hawes, who's the director of, I think, the first 2 episodes, according to IMDb. He's also an executive producer on the show. He said that this show starts on Earth, but will ultimately go cosmic. So we just have to be patient. I know a lot of people were pissed about the first teaser we got because there was no green in it. So they gave us a second teaser, which had more green in it. So what's going to happen when we actually get a full trailer? Because we've had 2 teasers. Is there going to be even more green in it? Are we going to see Guardians? What's going to happen? So there's definitely they're really teaching us to be patient with the show by what they're showing. I want to love it too. But based on the team that's working on it, I have little doubts. The only thing I doubt is the costume at this point. It's the one thing that I've seen that I don't like. And I'm hoping there's a different costume. Not just one. Here's the problem with this JJ. You say Gunn was supposed to give us lore accuracy and comic accuracy, so he should have voided these decisions. The show was in production before he came on. So I don't know how much say he has in it. I also don't know how much he has, say over what HBO wants to do. Today or the last few days, we've seen some crazy stuff from the set of Man of Tomorrow, including the amazing Lex armor, the war suit, a new Superman, sort of vibrant suit for Superman. And that movie comes out in like over a year. Lanterns has freaking been locked up tight since day one. We got one image that was the only image we had for over a year. There were no leaks. There was no nothing. So James Gunn, if James Gunn were running the show, we would have probably seen all kinds of stuff by this point. But because it's Damon Lindelof, it's Chris Mundy, Tom King, and HBO, they have it sewn up real tight. And I just have faith that they're going to be doing okay based on what we saw in the first trailer that everybody seemed to hate. I liked it. I was fine with it because we saw a ring, we saw a power battery, we saw Hal fly. I'm like, okay, so it's still Green Lantern. He says Hal Jordan Green Lantern at the very end of the trailer. People hated that. People didn't like the approach. The second trailer, a lot of people online are like, oh, now this looks great. I don't know what I just did to activate those balloons, but I'll celebrate Lanterns. So for me, don't mind you venting at all. Don't mind you venting at all. I just think it's maybe a little bit too early, Like, again, between the first teaser and the second teaser, there's a huge jump in sort of Green Lantern activity. And these are teases. So I'm hoping by the time we get to a trailer, which will probably be Comic-Con next month, we'll actually see like some Green Lantern fighting, Hal firing at those red laser beams and stuff, like constructs, fights. We'll see. I think the team has it sorted out. I think they're just working on a very tight budget because Warner Brothers and HBO are really, really afraid of the Green Lantern property. But from everything we've heard from everybody who like has been working on the show, from the higher ups at the studio, everyone seems to think the show is amazing. And they put it on in August, which means it'll end towards the end of the year. Maybe it'll get some Emmy buzz. I don't know. I think we're fine for now. I think we're going to be okay. It sounds like because this takes place in 2016 and 2026, it'll be nice to see that Jon Stewart will be a pretty seasoned Lantern by the time he gets to Man of Tomorrow. And that'll be a good thing. And we know that this show is tied to the DCU as far as Salvation goes in Peacemaker. James Gunn said that. So there is some stuff going on. Again, I just don't like the design of the suit. That's the thing. I trust Gunn as well. He did not really work on this show, but I think the show will be fine. The fact that we're getting a Green Lantern show, is pretty great. And it sounds like we're getting a season 2. They've already brought on the writers for season 2. So, show's in less than 3 months. Exactly. It's like 2 months and a couple weeks. So, hang with me. Thanks for joining me. I have to head off to my class. But leave more comments. Let's talk about this. Hit the bell icon because, listen, if we see a Jon Stewart, like James Gunn wants to leak a Jon Stewart outfit on for Man of Tomorrow, great. It's his movie to leak whatever he wants and show whatever he wants. So let's be hopeful for that. That we'll probably get that before we get the next trailer for Lanterns. So hit the bell icon. Join me as an honor guard. I'll be doing a member-only live stream soon in the coming days. And until next time, beware my podcast. It's Lanterns Live. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining me.